everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of
The Chatty Host.
It is, of course, myself, Boitumelo, and today we are speaking about growing out of friendships and ending friendships. First of all, this really sucks. I just have to put it out there. Like, growing out or losing friends sucks because those are the people that you shared most moments with. You have built memories with.
Instagram pictures with them.
Instagram pictures. Guys, I still have Instagram pictures with people that I don't speak to anymore because I'm just it's so hard to let go.
It's tough,
Because also if I remove that picture, it removes away the memory that I actually had. Not just with you, but just the memory as a whole.
Absolutely.
I don't know, do you guys rate I should remove them? But I don't feel like removing them yet.
No, I don't think you need to. Just because someone's no longer part of your life doesn't mean they didn't add value in that part. And we grew through them, we learned through them, so they are as valuable as to us now as they were when we had that friendship.
Okay. That actually says, because when I look back and I scroll through my Instagram and I look at the pictures, I'm just like, these were great times. And another point I'm trying to bring into this conversation is that when we lose people, I think it's okay not to necessarily be upset depending on how the relationship ended. Because when you sit down and weigh the good that they've brought into your life in comparison of the bad that caused the fallout, probably the good outweighs the bad. And it's always just so great to hold on to great memories because those people were in your life for a great season and they made a huge positive impact in your life.
And also for a reason.
Yeah.
For a very good reason. Because I feel like you befriend people because they make you happy.
Yeah.
They get to listen to you. You guys get to go out. You guys get to do really fun stuff and create memories. And those memories will just never fade away easily because you find great attachments to like great memories.
I love what you said there actually, because it's like, I think we forget that life isn't only about the great memories, it's about the steps in between. That whole thing of like, you can't have the sunshine, you can't have a rainbow without the rain and all of that. It's about the good and the bad. It's about sharing life with another person, platonic or love-wise. It's just about that connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I would like to just, make clear is we must never forget the impact that we give to a person and what that person gives to us, especially in a friendship. So it's important to remember that friendship was worth it, if that makes sense. And one has to kind of understand that when it's over, it's over. I know that's
not
difficult.
easy.
Absolutely not easy. But it's important to know that it is valid, all right? Because from what I've been noticing a lot lately, we've got a lot of movies that explain a breakup, of a romantic sense. But we're not seeing a lot of movies or literature, really, that talks about friendship loss or the end of a friendship. It's mainly very like, how can I say, like a simple loss, like, oh, the friend moves to a different country and you never hear from them again. But what we're really talking about here is like a friendship ends because maybe you two have a different view on life, or there is a possibility that one moves to a different country, or there's a possible fallout that we also just need to sit with, And it's just important to know that the grieving process is going to happen. And I know that's a difficult one, but it's just really what I want to bring out here with this podcast, that it's okay. Just want to validate anyone out there who's feeling a loss of a friendship right now. Just know that it's totally normal. What you're feeling is valid, and just hold yourself through that time.
Yeah, I love that. I think we forget so much that all the relationships bring something into our life, regardless of their structure, whether it's a family, a friend, a romantic partner. They bring something into our lives, and losing that can be so difficult because we feel like relationships in a romantic sense, they have their seasons. Some are permanent, some aren't. Friendships we see as this permanent thing. Once you're friends, that's set for life. But we forget that as we change and grow, so do other people. And falling in and out of each other is not necessarily a reflection of bad on either account, but rather about the growth and the experiences that you have together. I mean, I have lots of friendships that have come to an end. And then I also have lots of friendships that have come in and out of each other. So they've had long stretches of periods where we didn't talk or we weren't really close. Me and Boiti, for instance, I mean, we were very close in high school, and then we did our
Karma
traveling.
decided to pew, Boiti decided to pew, and then life happened.
Yeah, and then we came back together, and now we're very close as well. And I don't think that's a reflection of either of us. We're just at very different stages
in
of
life,
our
yeah.
lives. We were growing, and I would never say Boiti and I aren't friends anymore, or Boiti and I had a fallout.
Had stopped being friends
No.
for that period, yeah.
No, it was just right now on something else. However, there are times when friendships come to a definite close.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult, I think. And we forget that, like any other relationship, when it comes to its end, it needs a grieving time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like to bring into aspect, as you said, like, we tend to find ourselves in different parts, different desires, or career choices that probably just doesn't align. And it's okay to outgrow each other at some point, because outside of the friendship, one needs to have their own life where you need to be an individual that handles your own, right? And I believe that in life, we have all these seasons that we go through. And I believe that as people also, we go through these seasons. We meet people for a reason, as we always say, either a reason, a lesson, or an experience, right? And when we fall out with people, we must just understand the end of something means solely a beginning of something new.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. And then from whatever the breakup is, or the fallout is, or just the growth or growing apart from each other, just remember that we meet people, as I said, for a reason, and they play a role in your life for that current time. Maybe at that point, I just needed a friend that will always just be actively there to listen to me. And that friend played that role so actively because probably God or the universe has brought that person into your life because you were in need of their presence at that time. And once that's that purpose is solved or resolved or fulfilled, there we go, perfect, fulfilled, that person probably starts to detach. And that was just how it's meant to be. Instead of you being like, oh my God, why are you so dear? That person has literally fulfilled their purpose in your life, and it's done, and it's okay to let go because they did the best they could possibly do for the friendship. And now it's time to soldier on or be a friend, a better listener to someone else instead of you, because you found that healing or just that definition of what it means to truly have a friend or sisterhood, that you thought that you'd never get along with girlfriends, and then someone comes and then shows you that
hey, it's possible
to have a girlfriend, and once she's done being your girlfriend, probably go serve that purpose to someone else, and that's okay.
And I think it's also just important to remember we're also giving back into the relationship too. So never forget, I think, and I brought it up, the impact that you did, and it's important to, I think, when one looks back at their friendships, just reflect on what was given.
Yes.
And just remember the good, because of course the brain is going to love to fixate on the bad and how it ended, but it's important to just be like, hey, this is what I learned.
Exactly.
And here I am now, moving on.
I love that, because literally on my notes I had said the same thing, like just reflect on the good and just take out all the nice things that you've learned. Be like, it sucks that it ended, but like out of this whole situation, I've learned X, Y, and Z, and it's made me a better person. It has improved my point of view when it comes to friends, and I can surely be a better friend to the next person I meet.
I love that, actually, because it's like, it shows how every single person we meet, whether they become a friend or not, or it's a guy you meet in the street, or the guy who serves you in a cafe.
I love this.
These people add something to our life. We are here to learn. So all our interactions are learning. Some things are just longer lessons. Other things are creations together. And it shows in the way that we reflect on our friendships and our relationships. So, as you said, they can end badly, but reflecting on that good is so valuable. And it teaches us so much about ourselves. And And the love, coming back to center, coming back to that love, to that I shared something, I learned something, I allowed myself to be open to another person in my life. And I think that is in itself so much strength and the reason for friendship.
Absolutely.
It's that connection and that love that's shared.
And especially, I think you brought it up, a little bit earlier. It's important. Oh, now I lose my
Train of
track
thoughts.
yeah. But there was a point with the friendship. Okay, wait, it'll come back.
It'll come back.
It'll come back, yeah.
In that case, I want to look at the end of a friendship. So yes, good to value your friendships, good to work through your friendships, good to allow it to let go, focus on the positive. But there are situations where a friendship has taught you a lot of things that need you to align. So where it has been a toxic friendship that has now released and you need to align afterwards. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean every friendship that ends was toxic. It doesn't necessarily mean that a friendship is only toxic. Remember that things can be two things.
Yes.
So there can be toxic behavior and not toxic behavior. However, when there's a fallout, you can definitely assume there was some form of toxicity, whether that was just about a specific situation and way that we reacted in an environment. We can assume that when two people fall out, this doesn't mean drift apart or mutually outgrow each other. This is falling out. This is, there was an argument, there was a disagreement, there's a reason to terminate friendship. It's immediately easiest to blame the other person and move on. Don't do that.
Nope.
Just don't do that.
You come out the other end better.
Yeah,
and always don't never try to victimize yourself. Sorry to cut you.
No,
short.
that's a good thing. Don't victimize yourself, but also it's an opportunity to reflect on your own triggers and your own behavior and what you contributed to a situation that has ultimately resulted in this. What are you not handling? So I know from my personal ones that people pleasing has landed me up in situations where I contradict myself. And that has negatively impacted friendships. So I'm able to now reflect on it and be like, okay, where does that come from? What has that done? What can I do to be a better friend in the future? And by doing that, I get to learn the lesson that friendship has given me.
I love the fact that you've brought in yourself as an example and just acknowledge what your fail or fault was, because now I'm sitting down, I'm reflecting, and I'm like, I used to be so nonchalant. If you're petty, mad, or I did something wrong, you're not trying to speak to me, I'd be like, whatever. But now I'm at a point where I'm just like, let's communicate more. Let's see how we resolve. Exactly. Let's address it. Let's be grown and speak about things so we can revolve them. Because honestly, I know that we can't be making friends every other day. But at the same time, when friendship needs to be let go of, it's okay to do so. But I'm at a stage in life where I'm just like, if there's a low fallout, surely we can resolve and speak about it.
That actually is an important thing. Because we have such a big cancel culture right now, we have to remember not to fall into that over communication.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to say, I won't tolerate that in my life, get out.
Cutting you off.
Than to say, hey, hun, your behavior didn't sit right with me. I feel like maybe there's some unresolved trauma here. Would you like to communicate about it?
Yes, that's where I am in life.
Community, growth together, so that you can evolve through suffering. This is a very intense word, but it is the word that we use. Through suffering, we learn and we grow.
Yeah.
So what are we doing when things are difficult to grow through them? Granted, if someone continuously, and the key word here is continuously, not a one incident, there are some incidents that are not forgivable, but in a whole, if it's a continuous behavior, do cut someone off. But if it's something you can communicate about
and resolve,
communicate. And before you cut someone off, also communicate.
Let them know that I'm
Express
about
yourself.
to end it because I've tried everything and it's not working. Yeah. Just give them also the room to be like, okay, she's really fighting for our friendship. Maybe let me just also put in some effort. Because some people really do want to be bagged.
Yes.
And it's like, it's
and
exhausting.
that's where they are. And that's not a reflection on us. That's their journey. And that's the thing about friendship also, is like remembering that we're each on our own journey.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
just because someone leaves is not a reflection of you. It could be, I'm not ready to handle the situation, or I don't have the capability to resolve this trauma, so I am stepping away because I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with the other person. But if you are in a position where you feel that that friendship had value to you, you will communicate about it.
Yeah.
There's this specific thing that I think it holds a lot of weight in it, but I feel like it does say a lot about another person. It's people leave you the way they love you. So I don't think it's always the case, because some triggers are just too big and people will run. But you can see the value that you had in someone's life by the way in which they decide to step back.
Sure.
That is deep.
It's important, yeah, to just always have context there, but that is quite a
Yeah, that context definitely.
quite a reality there to accept. So the way that so explain that one more time.
Okay, so people leave you the way they loved you. So often that is through their trauma, but it does allow you insight to see the value that someone had in your life, or you had in their life. So if I just cut you off by a text message and leave, it shows that I never really respected you. I never really had the intention of building something with you. It was a one-way street. You no longer fulfilled this, so I'm cutting you off because I don't want to deal with it.
So you're no longer serving me, so I don't feel the need to either respect this breakup or sit you down and come to grounds as to why, trying to work things out of just like, this is it, take it.
But again, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes people just don't have the ability to do that. They don't have the ability to communicate, but you will be able to see it in the way they leave. If they leave and disappear, you can generally assume that's about them.
Yeah.
If they leave in a way that they end other friendships of yours or cause crap in your life, then you can assume, okay, that person never respected
Never
me. That
meant
person-
good things for you.
I was not valued in that friendship. But at the same time, I think that there can also be a lot of pain that influences that. So it's a touch and go.
And it also kind of shows you that they didn't really value themselves.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think the key point here is reflecting on the friendship, their side, your side, and everything involved.
Everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly.
Yes.
Sure.
So, remember last week I was speaking to you guys and I was just like, there's a specific friendship that I still want to like end via a beautiful text message, but now you're telling me that sending a text is just like...
No, that's different. You know that specific friendship has worked its course out.
Okay.
You valued and appreciated that friendship. So sending a beautiful message, because you're not in the same town as this person, sending a beautiful message as closure is different.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
just want
saying,
closure.
It's not saying, bruh, I don't want to be your friend anymore, don't contact me. It's saying, I really valued you. I understand that we've worked our way out, but I just want to say that I appreciated your friendship.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's different. That's
Okay,
different.
completely different.
Context.
Context. Okay, cool.
Context.
Got it. Anything else I'd
Yeah.
like to add?
Do any of us want to share a little bit about the emotions we have felt when we
Oh,
left the friendship?
So, I mean, I was emotional. I was like literally in tears. Like it was bad. Like it wasn't. I think Karma was there. There's just a lot of friends that were like really there because it was a very difficult thing for me to like understand. I was like, why am I feeling like this? You know, it also just showed how powerful that relationship was. But it ended, and again, I just want to validate you if you're feeling like you lost someone close. Well, that was a close friend.
Yeah.
You've got to understand that, like, how can we have these close platonic relationships and think it's not going to affect us when
You've basically shared most of your life with this
Exactly.
person.
I mean, like,
it's a loss.
There was like a group chat that we had, and then we all had to leave.
That is a rough part.
That was rough. Because I mean, like, there would be memes on that group chat, and then it just.
Now that you guys mentioning a group chat, I'm also like,
it's just like you gotta understand. Like, there was you have to understand your routine changes because
literally
that group chat
drastically
used to go
so.
off.
Yeah,
Now
who'd you
it doesn't
phone? Who'd you
anymore.
message?
Like it's It's done.
Guys, it really does suck.
It sucks.
And
it
it's
sucks.
okay. I mean, yes, right now that sounds very like, oh, yo, it's okay. But like, what you're feeling is not out of the ordinary. That's what I'm wanting to bring out there. Like, it's okay. What you're feeling, feel it. Because if you don't feel it, it's going to catch up.
Yeah.
My emotions towards friendship that I just recently, I can't even say with an outfall because there was no necessarily argument, but just probably outgrowing it. The fact that specific sayings or slangs
Yeah.
or just like when I'm about to go out and just how we just speak things into having a great night, and like that would just genuinely be our thing, and now I'm just like,
Damn.
it's not the same. Like it's like you're missing, and like just waking up to be able to just let this person know how your day or night went, and you just like hold yourself back. It's like I can't even pick up the phone to call you anymore.
Yeah, that
It's-
friendship,
yeah.
like, I had a friend I used to call when I cleaned the kitchen. And we just chat to each other for hours while we're potting around the house. And that whole, that second act, that, like, instinct of picking up the phone and calling them,
It's like, yeah.
it's like a breakup. It is. It's a breakup.
It is a breakup.
It is a breakup. And I think the hardest is, like, leaving the chat messages, unfollowing on social media, blocking them for peace of mind, that sort of stuff. It has as much weight to it as a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I was having a conversation with a friend on Instagram that posted that a boyfriend and girlfriend breakup is so hard, and just putting more emphasis on that. And I'm like, but we just never speak about the friendship breakup. And she was just trying to raise a point of, but it's different with the boyfriend. I'm like, but then what happens to the people that don't mind relationships or are in longer relationships or date seriously like that? Do you then tell me that how they feel when they lose their friends is not validated as in comparison of a relationship because they don't take dating serious? That it's equally the same. You're losing someone that
was close to you.
Period.
Someone that, changed maybe your mindset on certain things or challenged you on certain things or was a support system for you in certain things. Like, you can't ignore that
brought a change.
Yeah.
Brought an impact in your life. And now it's gone.
I think society doesn't really... We don't put a lot of emphasis on friendships. We put a lot of emphasis on our relationships because we're taught that that's ultimately the goal, to make a relationship, have children, blah,
get
blah,
married,
blah,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
We don't put a lot of value, and there's not a lot of information or lessons on friendships. And we forget that as humans we form attachments to things, to people, to
animals, everything.
And the same way that you grieve other things or feel sad about other things, so do we do when it comes to friendships. And I think it's undervalued. We undervalue friendships as a society.
Yeah.
Who do you run to when your boyfriend breaks up with you?
Exactly.
Your friend!
You see, and I mean, that brings me back to this other thing. We're living in a pandemic now where, especially like the elderly, people around their 40s and 50s, and okay. But hear me out what I mean by that. Like, that generation, they don't have close friends anymore. Their close friends was either their wife or husband, and then of course their wife or husband dies, and they're alone. So, we've got to just really look at the past and see what we want to change, because we have to understand human beings are sociable beings.
Yeah.
Right? We need to understand that within community we can find healing, and it's important to just bring emphasis back on friendships and having that close community around you, not just isolating yourself.
And I just picked up also sometimes when people are in relationships, they tend to shut down everything and everyone around them.
And that's something we have to work on, because you mustn't.
You need friends?
You actually put this into perspective for me. I remember once in my relationship, I was like, but I don't feel fulfilled in a specific aspect. And you just said straight to me, you're like, Karma, but one relationship, as in terms of connection or attachment to a person, is not supposed to fulfill